been blessed to work in the communications business in this region for more than 30 years, studying African American life in Detroit and participating in opportunities like the documentary that you just saw. So, having said that, giving you a sense of who I am, giving you, as obviously you know what you saw, are there any burning reactions or questions to what you saw in the presentation?
Question, I just want to know if you would lay out the boundaries for us. I was born and raised in the city of Detroit. My dad came up here in '52. He was a black father. He was told that's where the blacks were going to. So I want to know if you tell me the boundaries of the two areas. Because when I used to work at the Detroit Public Library in the Douglas branch, people who lived in Paradise Valley, they would come and they would have a meeting there. And they would reminisce about Paradise Valley. And I know there's like a medical center area somewhere there, but you know exactly where the two neighborhoods were.
There are probably no 2 or 3 people that agree on boundaries themselves. In the years of research that I've done and written about Paradise Valley and Black Bottom, it's more about a feel than geography. I will tell you that classically, the scholarship that I've done points to Black Bottom being, if you think about Detroit, and if you think about Detroit as spokes on a wheel, on a bicycle wheel. Think about if you were at City Hall, the spirit of Detroit. There are sort of spokes that go out of Detroit. On the east side, on the east side, it's Gratiot. On the west side, it's Grand River. Michigan Avenue comes out of downtown Detroit too and goes out west, way out west. But what I've written about, and part of the documentary that I shared, Black Bottom is essentially south of Gratiot. If you come out of downtown Detroit, think about the Blue Cross Blue Shield building, think about Flood's Bar, think about Greektown, and think about Gratiot going out of downtown Detroit, going out, to the east. Black Bottom classically was south of Gratiot, east of downtown Detroit, and going as far east, and this is one of the more controversial aspects of the boundaries too, going as far east as St. Albans, or what's today known as the DeQuinder Cut, or it was DeQuinder Street at one time, or going as east as Shane. I talked about in the documentary Coleman Young attending Miller Junior High School. Now, given those boundaries, some of those boundaries that I talked about, Miller Junior High School at that time, high school at that time, and later junior high school, would have technically been outside of the boundaries of what some people believe is Black Bottom. But it's very clear that kids that attended that school, many of them lived even in the boundaries that I suggest. So I point out that to say there are no clear boundaries, because the reality is white folk in City Hall didn't really give a doggone. I'm trying to use light language in a home worship. didn't really care about that section of town. Did not codify that community within hard boundaries. Black Bottom, south of Gratiot, Paradise Valley, north of Gratiot, immediately north. And then with the case of Paradise Valley, it would be largely west of Eastern Market. So think about today. This is what I usually, when I talk about Paradise Valley, that's how I usually describe it. Paradise Valley was not a very big community at all in geography. It essentially is the immediate area around today's Comerica Park and Ford Field. It wasn't any bigger than that. But it did have dozens of black-owned businesses, everything from bars to hotels, Joe Louis had a bowling alley there. And so both of those neighborhoods were small in circumference, but they were really sort of the epicenter of black life in Detroit in the 19-teens, 20s, 30s, and 40s. I went a long way to sort of to answer your question, but I thought it was important to sort of set the stage, talk about why it's controversial, talk about the geography, give you some present day sight lines that you might appreciate that neck of the woods, if you will. Thank you so much for the question. Any other thoughts?